Okay, yeah. So good evening once again. Yeah, so welcome. This is the second lecture for the KodeCamp Android Intermediate class. So let's get right to it. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. Okay, so today we're going to actually be looking at notifications in Android. For some of us who this is new to, well, good thing, good news. You're going to actually learn, how to implement notifications and the likes. And then for some of us who have some, prerequisite knowledge, well, this also is just going to be like a reminder for you. Okay, so let's just get right into it. So notifications. Okay, so what are the goals do we have? Okay, with respect to this particular session. Okay, first of all, you're going to learn how to create, style, and send a notification, how to cancel notifications, how to create notification channels, how to add quick actions to notifications, and then how to display notification badges on the app icon. Okay, yeah, so these are the goals for this session. Okay, hopefully we are able to cover it. It's a bit not really that long, but let's just take it one step at a time. Okay, so what are notifications? Okay, so notifications are messages that are shown on the user design of your app's user interface. Shown to the user outside of your app's user interface. So notifications are messages that are shown to the user outside of your app's user interface. Of course, we actually know this. So they are shown on top of the screen if the device is unblocked or unlocked, or depending on the security settings. Okay, if depends on the security settings, probably if your screen is actually locked, then you get to see the notification on the lock screen, okay, when the device is locked. So this is just an example of a notification. Of course, these are stuff that we actually have used over time, on our devices. So your typical notification consists of a title, a description, and an icon, okay? These are the typical things your notification consists of: title, description, and an icon. Okay, but it can also have clickable actions, a quick reply, some images and extendable content. Okay, when you click on, kind of drops down, just like your Google News, as you can see on the screen. Of course, we just swipe it down, it can actually extend. So that's basically what notifications are. So I'm just going to give us this image. Sorry, it's a bit skewed. So you can actually see, so you have the small icon. This is a typical notification. You have the app name, which is provided by the system. And then you have the timestamp, you have the notification title. Okay, you have the notification text, that is this, it's time. You have this notification text. Then you have a large icon here, okay, and then you have the extendable content to display either a larger text, an image, a media playback, okay, and also a conversation. So there's an extendable content display. And then, of course, an action. Okay, this performs app-related action, be able to snooze the alarm or stuff that needs to be done. So this is a typical notification. Okay, so that's just, so thank you very much, but don't mind me, the class the class hasn't actually ended. We are going straight into implementing notification. So I want to believe that we have gotten cloned the repository from the link I actually sent, because we are going straight into Android Studio. So let me share my Android Studio so we can actually get to work. Okay, so sharing now. Okay, so confirm you can see my Android Studio, please. Hello?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so let's...
Yes, you can see it, sir.
Yes, that's fine. So this is the project, okay, for some of us who have actually, kind of, cloned it. So this is actually the project, okay? So it's an application that kind of times for you to time yourself if you're kind of, if you're boiling an egg. So it's just called boil my egg. That's just the name. I know it sounds very, very weird. Okay. So the app is just simple. Okay. It's just, yeah, it's actually simple right now. Okay. Let me see if I can just run the app so you get to see how that actually plays out. Okay, so let me share that quickly. So yes, so I believe you can actually see my application. So this is it. This is app. This is the application. Just very simple. So we have an image of an egg, and then you have the spinner. Okay, so you can. This is just for testing. Okay, you have a soft boiled. If you want a timer for soft boiled egg, you want a timer for a slightly firmer one, the one with a firm yolk, or a hard boiled egg. Okay, so each of them have their own timer. They have their own duration. Okay, but this is just for testing so that we don't actually have to stay for a long time. So when I click, when I toggle the button, and then of course you see the timer 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and good. It gives us a toast. Okay, yeah, so it gives us a toast, but we do not want a toast. We actually want a notification. We don't want a toast. We actually want a notification. So that is what we are going to be implementing in today's class. Okay, so let's go back to the Android Studio. Okay, so just a quick rundown of some of the stuff that we have here. Okay, now so I'm going to actually do something. So we have this package here. Of course, we have our package app.isto. So we have this, we have receivers. So we have this. So let me just open this up so we get to see everything here. So in our receivers, we have what we call the alarm receiver. Okay, now this receiver package, it just contains just two. You can see the alarm receiver and the snooze receiver. Now, the alarm receiver, okay, is triggered by the alarm manager. And why is that done? To send the notification when the user defined timer is up. So when the timer you set is up, okay, the alarm receiver is now triggered. The alarm manager triggers the alarm receiver. Okay, the alarm receiver is just a class name. It could be anything, but it's extending the broadcast receiver like you actually are seeing there. So the alarm receiver is triggered by the alarm manager to send the notification, okay, when your timer is up. Now, the snooze receiver handles the user click to snooze the notification. Remember, we had the snooze, to snooze the notification. So that's why we have that snooze receiver. Okay, we're going to add, remember the image I showed you, okay, where you had snooze button? Yes, so we'll add that. So let me just show you what is in the snooze receiver. So we have this, we overrode this function. Of course, we're still extending the broadcast receiver. So we'll talk about this whole thing, but for now, just kind of doing just a brush through of what we have in the application. So the next is the UI, okay, where we have the timer fragments and the notification utils. Okay, so we have the egg timer fragment, okay, which is part of the UI, okay, it's part of the UI portion of the application. And then we have the timer view model. Okay, the timer view model. So this is responsible for starting and canceling the timer. Okay, and some other life cycle related app task. Of course, we know about view models. Okay, we know about view models, so I'm not expected to start explaining, what a view model does. Okay, then the next package that we're going to actually look at is the utils package. So where we have our binding adapters. Okay, that's where we have our binding adapters. So the binding utils, okay, has binding adapters to enable data binding. So this is just to enable data binding between the app UI and the view model. Okay, that's the concept of binding adapter. Okay, and then we have the notification utils. Okay, this just has some, we're going to actually just create some extension methods or functions, okay, on our notification manager. Okay, we have a notification manager function. Okay, so we'll just create some extension methods that will actually be making use of. Okay, So now let's go straight into what we have for now. Let's actually now, add notifications to our application. Okay, let's add a notification. So now let me just say this. Let me just say this. Now, using notifications is actually a very interesting way to get the attention of users. Okay, so whether your app is running, okay, or whether it is not running, okay, the notification will actually show a pop-up window on the top of your screen. Now, it can actually include, a sound, or it could actually just, be a vibration. Okay, of course, we actually know about that. So it's either a sound or a vibration. But regardless of that, okay, it's actually something that is really what's important. So let me quickly set up something in just, I think about a minute, I think about 30 seconds, so we can get started. So just, oops, please. Okay, yeah, so yeah, back, and then let's kick this on the road. Okay, so first things, we're going to create a basic notification. Please confirm you can hear me. You can actually use the chat if you can hear me. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we're going to be creating a basic notification right now. So I'm going to go to, so on my notification utils, okay, I'm going to do something. So what I want to do now, I want to create a new notification. Okay, so it's just basically, setting a message for the user and just sending a notification. Okay, so that's what we're going to actually do. So we have a function here called notification manager.send notification, and then it's passing. We have two parameters here, the message and then a context. Okay, so those are the two parameters that we are passing. So basically what we're going to do, if you look at this send notification function again, let me reiterate. Okay, we are extending this, we're basically going to extending the notification manager. So let me just do something. Assuming I want to just rewrite this. Okay, send notification. Let me just write it notification, and then passing. So we want to pass the message body, message. So let me just call it message. And of course, message is going to be of type string. And then we're going to pass in the context. So let me just call this context. Okay, so this is basically what we just did. Okay, now, well, next thing we're going to do, we're going to get an instance of the notification builder. Okay, there's a notification builder, so we get an instance of it and then pass in our context. We're going to pass in our context and what to call a channel ID. Now, they already created some, they already a constant here for the channel ID. Okay, so the channel ID is just a string value for the channel. Okay, now let me just explain this. So notification channels, okay, they are just like a way to group notifications. Okay, so by grouping them together, them together, developers can just control all of the notifications in the channel. So when they are grouped, it's easy to have control. So once a channel is created, it can be used to deliver any number of notifications, any number of notifications. So how do we do that? Okay, so remember, we said we want to create an instance of the notification builder. So remember what an instance is, of course. So I'm going to say val, let's say builder. Okay, and then so notification builder. So we should have that. Notification builder. Hold on. So, but I'm going to say, let me use notification compact.builder. I'm going to use that out of the core. Okay, yeah. And then, so what do we now pass? So you can see this takes in a context, okay, and then a channel ID. So for our context, I'm going to pass in the context, and then for the ID, I'm going to say notification ID. So these are the two things it takes in. But let's do something. I kind of want to just, so we are missing out something, okay? So this one, let's not use that one of context. We need to pass a message. So let's see. I think I have something. I have something in the strings. Let me just confirm. Let's see. I have something. My strings. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I do. So let me get that. So I'm going to use the context to get that. So context or get string. Yeah, and I'm going to say r.string. So yeah, we have this egg notification. So let's use that and then pass in the context. Okay, so we're having an error. So I think, okay, so context first. Yeah, context first before. So we're not, so let's see. Okay, yeah, so order is very, very important. Okay, so yeah, we have created we've created an instance, okay, of the notification builder, and then we've passed in the app context, and then we passed in a channel ID. So let me just show you. So this our channel ID for now. This is going to be egg channel. Okay, yeah, that's just the channel ID we're going to be using. So now let's do. So the next thing is to let's set the notification icon. Okay, so the notification icon, let's just represent. It's just going to represent your app. A title, and then the context, just like we talked about. When we were actually kind of defining what's the notifications. So how do we actually do this? Okay, how do we then do this? So let's see. So I'm just going to add the dots here, but let me just bring this down then. So we have dots. So we can now set the small icon. Okay, so I already have, so I don't think I have something. Do I? Okay, I think I may have to get some, okay, let's use that. Let's use that. And then we have another one, let's say set content title. I'll use that. So what will be the content title? So I think I have something already. So I'm going to use my context dot get string r.string and then notification title. And then the last thing we would want to add is the context, the content, yeah, to set the content text. But so set content, content text, yes. So what do we want the text? So the text is going to be what we'll now pass in our message into the text. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So this is we're just creating a basic notification, okay? Just a basic notification. So the next thing we now need to do is to call the notify method, okay? We need to now call the notify method, but we'd have to do it with a unique ID for your notification. We have to do it with a unique ID for your notification, and then with the notification object from our builder. So this is basically what I mean. So I'm now going to call the notify, okay, and then I'm going to pass in the notification ID and then pass in our builder, which is the instance, and then say dot build. So that is that. So one more thing, we now need to go to our view model, okay, but just to clarify, okay, the ID represents the current notification instance, okay? The ID represents the current notification instance. And of course, you need it to update a notification or cancel the notification. So you need to reference, you need something to use to reference that notification to either update or cancel. So for now, since our app is just going to have only one active notification at a time, so we can just use the same ID for everything. But if you're going to have different notifications, then of course they should have different IDs so you can reference them. Okay, so we have already given a constant like you see. So let's actually now go to our view model. Let's go to our timer view model. So you can actually see a lot of things here, but we have a method already called the start timer. So let's go. Okay, that's that guy. So so in our start timer, so let's do stuff. So I set this up. So if you actually follow, once you get it, you can actually just see some of the to-dos and to help guide you. So I just quickly cloned this because I had to clear my system a bit. So this is what we're going to do, okay? This is basically what we're going to do. We need to know what? We need to now trigger the notification, okay? So we need to try. So but basically this function, the start timer, is what creates the alarm, okay, with the selected time interval. That's why we see we're passing the timer length selection here. So it creates an alarm with the selected time interval, okay? When user is, when you enable that timer, then it creates the alarm. So basically what we'll now do is to trigger a notification in this start timer function. Okay, so when the user will start the timer. So, but in order to do that, in order to call this send notification function that we created, in order to call this function, okay, we need an instance of the notification manager. To call this function, we need an instance of this notification manager. That's how we can be able to call the function. So now know that the notification manager is a system service, okay? It's a system service. It gives you the every function that your notification actually needs, okay? Including some extension function actually that of course you will actually add by yourself. So anytime you want to send, cancel, or even update a notification, you need to request an instance of the notification manager from the system. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. So just below this, I'm going to say, I'm going to create an instance. Okay, so we need to let's create, we're going to say val, let's create an instance. Let's do a small notification manager. Okay. But let's do this. So I want to do something. So let's say context compact. Let's get the context compact. So .get system service. So now this requires what? It requires it requires a context. Now I already have we already have the app here, of course, for some of us who have actually gone through, okay, we are getting an instance of the application. So we'll pass that. And then I'm going to now pass in the notification manager class. Okay. And all this instance I'm getting it as, so this is kind of like a casted as notification manager. Okay. And then can now say notification manager dot, dot send notification. That's how we're able to access the send notification function that we created. And of course, it requires a context of which I'm going to pass. the context app, and then so it requires a message. So let's get the message. So okay. Yes. Yeah, so that's fine. And then I think so campaign app casting context. Okay. So that actually that. So we're almost there actually. We're almost there. So, but let's just run this and make sure that everything seems fine. Yes, Erico Martin, yes. So let's just run this. Okay, so I think let me probably just share my full screen so we can actually see how this, it's all building. Okay, so it ran, so everything is fine. Okay, so everything is fine. Okay, so you can see it failed to post notification. You saw that. So we are not done yet, but we're getting there. Okay, so let's see how we can now round this up. So this takes us to notification channels. Okay, this takes us to what channels. Now, notification channels, like now a channel represents a type of notification. Okay, now whenever you have for some of us, if you check when you have a notification, if you tap and hold that launcher icon and select app info and tap on notifications, you see a list of notification channels associated with your application. Okay, but right now we don't have that list because our app has not created any channel at all. And a channel just represents a type. So when we say notification channels, are basically saying it represents notification type, like type of notification. So for example, these are boil my egg timer can send a notification when the egg is cooked. It can send another channel, okay, and also can actually use another type of notification or another channel of notification to send maybe like daily notifications to remind you that you have eggs or you have eggs for your breakfast. Can send you a notification when probably your egg is half cooked and stuff like that. So these are what channels, that's what I call notification channels. Okay, now now let me just say this now. All notifications in a channel that are grouped together. Okay, and you as a user, you can configure notification settings for a whole channel. And the reason is it kind of allows you to personalize your own notification settings based on the kind of notifications you're interested in. So let me just show you guys something. Okay, let's just round. I'm going to show you something on the device, on your own device. Once we have, so you can see something like this: silent notification. These notifications cannot be modified. So let me just, this is me just trying to open stuff. Show notification. So these are the kind of, there are alerts, there are that of battery, there's general messages, so there are hints, there are screenshots. So these are those channels. So that's just me trying to, show you guys some of the things I'm actually talking about. So let's actually now create one. Okay, let's create a channel. Now in our timer fragments, there is a create channel method function. So we're going to, start a create channel. Okay, and then of course we're going to end it. So basically what we'll do here is just to pass the unique channel ID to the constructor of notification channel. Now this, let me just, so let's do this. Let's do this. Let's code. Okay, so let me do something. I'm going to say, now I want to actually do a check, okay, because for build version. So I'm going to say if the build, build.version. Okay. So we're trying to target particular API version, okay, which is starting from API level 26. So just need to target that, okay. Okay, so if it is greater than that, then we'll now create the notification channel. So I'm going to create notification channel. And this is going to be an instance. So we're basically creating an instance of the notification channel. And then what do we need to pass in? We need to pass in the ID, we need to pass in the name, and then importance. Okay, so for the ID, I'm going to pass in a channel ID variable that we've created. And then I'm going to pass in just the channel name. Okay, and then the next thing we need to pass in is the importance, right? So I'm going to just get that, okay? So I can get that from the notification manager dot importance, and then let's just say low. Okay, can actually make use of whatever I want to make use of. So the next thing we're going to do is to disable badges for this channel. Let's disable the badges. So there's a lot of things you can now do with your notification channel. You can do this, you can enable lights and set that to true. We can, let's say the light color. So let's see something. I can actually just say color dot let's say green. Okay, and then notification channel dot enable vibration. Of course, if you want vibration, so you can actually just set that to true, and then let's get that. So there's also the description. Okay, so what will it actually say? Well, I can just say this notification is working. Okay, so that's just what I want to pass. So once I'm done, okay, once I'm done with that, okay, so I want to now I want to get an instance of the notification manager now, okay, so that I can call, the create notification channel, okay. So how do I do that? Okay, first of all, I need to get an instance of the notification manager. Now we are using this is a fragment, so we need to use the context, we need to require activity, okay, and then call the get system service. And then I'm going to just say notification manager, okay, get the class, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to now, so with this now, I can now use my notification manager instance to call the create notification channel. And then what am I just going to pass in? I'm going to pass in the notification channel that I just created. Okay, so the next thing is to create a channel. So next, to create a channel, okay, you actually need to call this create channel. We need to call this function create channel. Okay, you need to call it. Now, if you notice, our function takes two parameters, which is the ID and then the channel name. So we need to look up our ID and name from our. I think I have some stuff on the string resource. So let's see. I'm going to call this. Yeah. So just here, I'm going to call the create channel. So I have something. So we just have. Of course, you can actually just put whatever you want. So I have a channel ID, and then I have a channel name. Okay. Okay, so I think the r.string is not working. So okay, I think I'll just try. Maybe I should just use the get string. Yeah, then r.id, r.string rather. That's okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and then get string again. So yeah, r.string, and then that's the name. Okay, yeah, so that's that. So let's verify. Okay, so yeah, the color changes. So this verifies that we have actually called it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think that's fine. Channel ID. Channel ID. Okay. Yeah, so that's actually cool. That's actually cool. That's actually cool. So let's see. So remember, so let's see if everything is actually fine. So there's a timer view model. Let's see. Okay. Okay, one more time. Let's check this. So the builder, and then okay, so that means we are good to go. So let's test this out now. Let's test this out. Let's test this out. So okay, I think I'd want to just close this out and then run it again. So let's be sure that everything is fine. Okay, so when I start it, now you can see I have a notification here that it is actually running, and then it's counting down also. So we have an icon here. Okay, we have the name of the app. Of course, we said it's this from the system. We have the time, of course, it's actually just now. And then we have egg timer. Egg timer is actually what running. So this is just a basic notification. Okay, this is a basic notification. So we have a notification title, we have the content, we have the icon. Now, so to verify this channel, okay, to verify this channel, this is what I'm going to do. Let me close, I'll close this. And then this is the application. So let me just press and hold. I'll go to app info. Okay, so if you see this notification, okay, notification. So I'm just going to click on it, and then you see one notification per week for what? The egg. Okay, so this is a new notification that we created, and the notification is what's called egg. So when you actually run the app, the notification is now shown just like actually what's seen. So you and your users, you can actually customize how this whole thing actually works. You can turn it off if you want, you can turn it on. So, but this is the channel that we actually created. Okay, well, these are just stuff that you can actually just do on your on your device. So that's actually how to create a basic notification. That's actually how to create a basic notification. So before we move forward, why any question before I actually move forward? Okay, so okay, no questions. Okay, that's fine. So let's move on. Let's move on. If you have a question, just raise your hand or probably drop it on the chat, and then I'll respond to it. So what we just did was just test run. Okay, we just did a test run. Okay, of course I can decide to try that again. So let me close out this. Close out this. Okay, so that's just a test run. So let's test that again. So what we did was, when we actually just activate this, that's when the notification actually comes up, of course. But of course, that doesn't really make much sense. Okay, it doesn't really, sending a notification right after starting the timer, it doesn't really make much sense. Okay, of course, we would prefer to be notified when the egg is ready. I think that's actually what makes sense. So let's see how to fix that. So I've already sent notification and we've seen how it is actually shown. Okay, so now remember we said something that the app actually uses alarm manager to set up an alarm. Okay, so we already have, of course, we already put up some of these things here. So let's go to our alarm receiver. Okay, now we have an instance. Okay, so this is basically what we're going to do here. I'm going to add an instance of the notification manager and then call the send notification function with the message and those parameters here. I'm actually going to do that here. So the alarm manager it kind of helps you keep track of the time selection, and then it will trigger this on receive method. Okay, this on receive function of this alarm receiver to trigger this function when the time is actually up. That's when it's a trigger it. So let's see. So if you notice, what we had before was a toast message. Okay, that's what we actually had before, a toast message. So let's modify this. Let's add a call to send notification. So so to do that, let's do something first. I'm going to let's just comment this out. Then let me I'll get an instance of the notification manager because I want to get the send notification. So context compact dot, of course, get the system service. And then what parameters do we need to pass? We already have the context. Okay, and then we'll pass in the notification manager class. Okay. And then, of course, this is going to be casted as the notification manager. So now we have the instance. Okay, we can now call our send notification. And then I'm going to now pass in a message. So I think I'm just going to use, I need to get a string, so get text, then r dot, strings dots. Yes, so this to say that it's ready. So since we're using a get text, I think we need to convert this to string. Yeah, that's fine. And then I'm going to pass in the context. Okay, so sorry, context. Okay, so yes, that's actually, so that's that. So well, we could still leave the toast, okay, but nah, I don't really want us to do that. So let's actually now, I think we have an error somewhere. So okay, so I think probably, okay, sorry, I think I'm probably missing out something. Okay, so the get system service takes a context. Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's see how this works now. Let's see how this works. So we should actually get, so because we're using the alarm receiver, so we should now get a notification when we start the timer, and then when we end the timer. Someone said, I thought data binding library has been duplicated. Really? It's view binding. Okay, so let's see that. So when we start, we have a notification. Okay, so I'm going to close this out and then let's see. Okay, and then when it ends, we also have a notification. So that's basically what happens here. So we send this, we call the send notification on the onReceive method. Okay, so that's actually how you actually would do that. So let's do something again. Let's play around. Let's play around a bit. But because the thing is, you don't want to send too many notifications to users because you don't really want to do that. So we can remove the first notification. You know, we can remove the first one that actually sends a a message when you start it. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to the timer fragment. Okay, and then I'm going to remove this the code that we actually put up here. That's that guy. Okay, we need to get that. Okay, so where? Oh, sorry, I need to find. I think it should be somewhere here. Okay. So let's see. So this one, I think this is creating the channel. So probably I'm just going to take this out. So hold on to confirm where I'm passing it up. Okay. So yeah, let me comment this out from here down. Let me comment this out. Yes. think that's the code that actually, yeah, that's the code that starts. So let's comment that out, because it doesn't, of course, you do want to send a lot of notifications to users that can actually block them. So, okay, yeah, so we don't have the notification when it actually starts, but we should have a notification when it ends. Okay, so we do, yes, we do have a notification when it actually what ends. So now the next thing we're going to do, okay, I want to try something. Okay, so I'm going to run this, and then let me put my app on the background. So we should actually see a notification. We should see a notification. We should when it's done. Yes. So we actually see that even though the app is actually in the background. So the next thing we want to do is to add a content intent. Okay, because if you click on the notification, let's see, nothing happens. Okay, I'm actually clicking on it, nothing what happens. So let's add a content intent. Okay, because showing the notification and informing the user is actually cool, but when a user clicks a notification, okay, of course it is expected to go back to the corresponding application. So maybe if you're having a discussion on WhatsApp, it's expected that when you click that notification, it takes you to WhatsApp. Okay, so let's add an intent to do that. And of course, you know what an intent is, so I don't think I need to explain what an intent actually what does. Okay, so let's do that. So we're going to let's go to our notification utils, where we have this send notification extension function, and then we'll create an intent here. So let's do this. I'm going to say val intent. Okay. So I'm going to say intent, and I'm going to pass in the context. Context, and then where are we going to? I want us to go to our main activity, okay, because our main activity is actually housing the fragments, right? So let's go to the main activity. Okay, so we have created the intent, fine, but the notification is displayed outside our application. Okay, even when you go to the background, your notification is still what's displayed. So to make your intent work outside your application, you need to create what we call a pending intent. Okay, so now a pending intent, it grants rights to another application or the system to perform an operation on behalf of your application. That's what a pending intent what does. It gives another application the right, or the system, to perform an operation on behalf of your own application. So pending intent is just a reference. Okay, it's just a reference to a token maintained by the system that actually describes the original data that was used to retrieve it. So okay, it seems like I'm saying a whole lot of grammar, but just let's actually see how that works in code. But basically what I'm saying is that even if it is owning the application, like the application process is killed, okay, the pending intent itself will remain usable. That's why you can actually kill, maybe you have a notification, you can minimize and close up your WhatsApp, okay, but yes, you've closed it up, but that notification, that pending intent is still usable. Okay, and of course when you click on it, it will open the app on behalf of you, whether whether or not of course in this case the timer is actually running or not. Okay, so that being the case, let's create a pending intent right now. Let's create a pending intent. We'll use what we'll call, we'll use the context, we'll use the ID, okay, and then we'll use this particular intent that we just created. Okay, so this is how we'll do it. Now I'm just going to say, I'm going to say pending intent. So of course it's actually a class, so I'm just going to say, so, and then we're going to call the .get activity method, and then I'm going to pass in the context. Okay, and then the next thing is we're going to give it needs a request code. So we're going to give it the notification ID. And then it also needs an intent. So we keep passing the intent we created, which is for it to go to the main class, the main activity class. And then we're going to add a flag. So we have the update current. So the flag update current. Okay. So what we'll now do to make use of this is to now pass the pending intent to our notification. And how do we do that? We do that by just calling set content intent. Okay. So to our notification, let me see. So we have the set content. Let me confirm. Set content intent on our notification, and then we'll just pass in our what pending intent here. Okay, so let's do something. Hope I'm not missing out something. So let's take this. Let's take this up here, and then yeah, okay. So that's fine. Yes, so we'll do that, and then we'll have to set. We have a method called auto cancel. Yes, we have to set auto cancel to true. Okay, so this we're setting this to true so that when the user taps on the notification dismisses itself and takes them to the application. So that's what the set auto cancel what does. So let's run this application again. Okay, so I'm going to open it up, and then let's start this, and then let me put it at the background. So we should see a timer soon. Good. And then when I click on it, it opens up the application. So that is actually, the whole concept of the pending intent. Okay. Any questions so far? If you have a question, you can just drop it on the chat, and then of course I'll do my best to do justice to that. So one more thing that we can do, okay? Yeah, one more thing we can do is to cancel. How do we cancel a notification? Okay, how do we cancel a notification? So right now we actually have a functional time boil my egg application. Okay, so we have that. It has notifications, but there's just one slight thing. Now, if you set the timer, get a notification, set the timer again. Okay, so let me show you something. Set the timer. Once we get a notification, let's see. Let me show you. Okay, now when we set the timer again, watch this. The previous notification still stays on the status bar while this new timer is running. Okay, it still stays there, and of course this can actually confuse the user of the application. Okay, because if the app is in the background, it can also confuse you. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to clear the previous notification when you start a new timer. Okay, so basically we'll start by creating another extension function. Okay, we'll create another extension function to actually do that. Now, the notification manager, okay, it actually has an API to cancel all active notifications, and it's called cancel all. So it's just a method. So this is basically what we'll just do. Okay, we're going to create an extension function. We'll say fun. It's okay, sorry, that let's get out outside of here. So fun, I'm going to say notification manager. So I'm going to call this cancel notifications, or cancel notification, whichever one. So this is all. And then I'm just going to call the cancel all. That's that. That's just it. So the cancel all, it cancels all the active notifications. Okay. Now, but we're not done. Okay. Now, I'm going to go to our view model. And then if you check our start timer function inside, we are going to get an instance of the notification manager from, and then call cancel notification. So I'm just going to undo this, but instead of calling send notification, I'm going to call cancel notification. Yes, I'm going to call cancel notification. So let's see. So let's see. Let's test this and make sure that works. Okay, I think it's done. Okay, we have to reinstall and restart. Okay, building. Okay, and launching. So let's see. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so we have a notification. Okay, so let's start another one. So you see it actually cancels off the previous one. So that's how we can actually cancel a notification. Okay, so the last thing we're going to be looking into is, I think we may be able to round this up. So the last we're going to be looking into is how can we customize our notification? Okay, how can we customize our notification? Okay, now of course this notification whole notification framework, okay, there's a lot of customization options, okay, that you can actually do. You can set custom actions and style, you know, the notifications the way you need. So let's see what we can actually do. Now, installing your notification according to your needs, you know, and of course the notification content, the notification is dependent on your notification content. Okay, it's dependent. So this is what we're going to do. There's the notification compact that we actually made use of. Okay, it actually offers some built-in styles. Okay, there's a big text style, big picture style, inbox style, media style. So the big text style just to display a large block of text. Big picture shows large format images, large format notifications with a large image. We have the inbox styles. It shows you a conversation style content. We have the media. This just shows you media playback. And then we have the messaging. So we have a lot of that. So let's go and let's style this now. Let's style this, okay? So let's do this. So in our send notification, okay, let's start with probably adding an image. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to create, let's say, image. So let me get an image first. So I think I can get it from the Bitmap factory, yeah. And then let's see, I hope. So there's the code resource, yeah. Just to, and then I'm going to pass in the context. Go to resources, and then have let's say, let's use okay, sorry, yeah, okay, and then I need to just get in the image. Let's just okay, yeah, okay, so yeah, that's actually good. So now let's create a let's use a big picture style. Yeah, big picture style. Let's use that. So I'm going to save I'm going to say big picture style. Big picture style. Okay. So I'm going to get it from our notification compact. Yes, notification compact dot big picture style. Yeah. Yes, big picture style. So yeah, that is actually that. So, and then, so what do we need to pass? So we now need to get the big picture. So it we converted it to a bitmap because it actually is, that's why we use the bitmap of factory. Okay, so I'm going to pass in the egg, the image, and then it has what we call a big large icon. So well, we don't have an icon, so okay, I can just pass in now. But if you have one, of course, you can actually do that. Now the next thing is let's set the style. Okay, so let's say dot set. Okay, let's do something. Okay, let me see. Set. Okay, so this is for the big picture. So okay, let's see. Okay. So let's add to our builder. Let's add a set style. Yeah, to our builder. So the set style, I'm going to I'm going to call it for the style. I'm going to use the big picture style that we actually did. So I'm just going to have to take this up to somewhere here. Yes, so big picture style. And then for the text style, let's see. Let's see. Okay. So set large icon. Let's now put image there that we created. Okay. So yeah, I think that's fine. So let's see how this looks. Let's see how this looks. Okay, so succeeded. So let's start this. Okay, we have a notification. So let's see. So yes, so this is the big picture. So this is actually it. So yeah, we just customized our, and of course, still clickable to take you to the main activity. Yeah, so that's actually, yeah, that's how you actually do that. Okay. Of course, we saw that when we actually ran the application, okay, it was actually the collapsed state, okay? But if you expand the notification, you get to see that large image. So now, what about notification actions, okay? Like the snooze, we saw there. How can we add notification actions, okay? So notification actions, they are just another customization that you can actually add to your notifications, okay? And what do? They basically just redirect, to your app when users click on them. In addition to the normal, clicking on the notification stuff, you can just add other buttons to complete an app related task. Okay, just to, kind of help the user know what exactly he or she is doing when clicking, or what action exactly he or she wants to take. So now a notification can offer 3 action buttons that allows the user to respond quickly, such as probably snoozing or replying a text message. Okay. But these action buttons, they should not duplicate the action performed. Okay. They should do different things. They shouldn't really do one thing else. There's no need. Okay. So to add an action button, but basically what we'll do, we'll pass a pending intent to a method called add action. Okay. That we have actually, so let's see. So let's go to the snooze receiver. Let's start from there. Okay, so now if you look at this class, it's similar to our alarm receiver. They are both extending the broadcast receiver. So let's just look. So let's just add some stuff to this on receive. We already have our alarm manager and the likes of that. So of course I was expecting you guys to have gone through this. So let's first of all get an instance of notification manager. Okay, we have that of alarm. So let's get an instance of the notification manager here. So, but basically what this actually does is just, it creates a new alarm, okay, to send a notification like, you know, a minute later or 2 minutes later, okay. So let's create that. So I'm going to say notification manager, and then of course the context compact. So you have to get system service, and then of course going to pass the context, and then it's called the notification manager class. And then we are definitely now going to cast this as notification manager. So, okay, I think that was not, okay, yeah. Okay, I think probably this should, okay, context, notification, this, okay, yeah, all right. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, okay, good. And then, so with that, I can say I can call the cancel or function. Okay, so when you snooze, it should just cancel all functions. Okay, but in order to actually use this snooze receiver, okay, we'll have to call the big, let's create we're going to create a new intent. Okay, we're going to create a new intent here, and then let's create an intent. So we're going to save intent. So this intent is actually to snooze the alarm. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, so let's see, calls intent, and then of course we're going to pass in the context. Okay, so gonna have to do this. Okay, so let's do that here. Yeah, context, and then we're going to call the snooze receiver pass. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we already have an instance. So okay, let's call this snooze intent. Okay, and then I'm going to create the pending intent of this guy. Okay, remember why we actually need to create the pending intent. So pending intent dot get system service. Okay, get. So for this one, we're going to use what we call the broadcast. Okay, we're going to use a broadcast. Okay, so we'll create the intent. We're going to call the get broadcast what method, and this is what it is. So the get broadcast requires a context. Of course, we already have context. It requires okay. So what else? Let's see. Request code. It requires a snooze in an intent, which is the snooze intent, and then of course a flag. So I'm just going to just say flags. Yes, these are just inbuilt stuff. Okay. So let's see. What did it say? It says must be one of the pending intent, flag shorts or no creates. Okay, so it's kind of telling us. Okay, so let's choose. Okay, so let me say that let's use the flag one shot. Okay, because we're using it just once, so that's why. So by using the flag one shot. So this quick action, and the notification will just disappear after the first, after you tap it the first time. Okay, that's why I'll just use the one shot flag. Okay, so let's see. I think we're having conflicting declarations. Okay, so I'm just going to call this snooze pending intent. Okay. Yeah, so that's actually what fine. So next thing we need to add, we need to call the add action function in our notification builder. Okay, in our notification builder. So the add action takes an icon, a title, and then a pending intent. So our dot trouble. We have an icon, yeah. And then the next thing it takes is a title. So let's get one from our string. So let's get string, then our dot string dot. I think we have something there. Snooze. Okay, and then of course the last thing it needs is the intent. So I will not be able to see it because it's way down here. So I'm just going to take that up here also. And then I'm just going to call snooze pending intent. Okay, so that's actually that. And then yeah, so let's run this and then to make sure we're actually on the right track. Let's see if things are working as they should. Okay, so just rerun that again. Okay, so let's see if that works. 2, 1, and 0. So we should have a notification. Okay, so we have our snooze, of course, yeah. So so clicking on that, of course, that actually cancels that notification, and then of course it snoozes the notification for I think about 1 minute. Yeah. So that's actually how you add an action. Okay, that's actually how you add an action. So but one last thing I think we will just do, and then we'll call it a day, is notification importance. Okay, notification was important. So importance just basically determines how much the notification should interrupt the user, both visually and audibly. Now, notification that has higher importance will be, of course, it will actually interrupt users pretty much. Okay, so, but you must specify the importance level in your notification channel constructor. Okay, so before we set it to low importance, we set it to low importance before, okay, for the app. So, but you can actually use, there are other ones that you can actually make use of. And the importance of this, the importance level you assign to a channel, okay, applies to all notification messages that you post, all of them, okay, all information messages you post on that channel, okay. So I think so. Let's just do something while but let me just say this, okay, just for you to note. When the importance is high, okay, it makes a sound and appears as a heads up notification. That is, it pops up at the top of your screen when it is high. Okay, so this is just this think the from Android 8 and above, and then for Android 7 and below, it's actually called priority, but from 8 and above, it's called importance. But when it is default, the default is that it makes a sound. Importance low, there is no sound, and then importance min, okay, there's no sound and does not appear in the status bar. Okay, so let's actually do something now. So let's change the importance level on our application. Okay, So where did we, yeah, so here. So let me change it to importance high. Sorry, that should be an M. Let's change it to importance high. So what will this do? Okay, now remember I said something. So from Android 8 and above, it's actually called importance high. But from Android 7 and below, it's actually called priority. So, but so to actually support, devices that run, lower, you actually have, we must call the set priority for each function using a priority constant. Okay, so this is what we'll do. This is just to target this thing. So after this, I'm now going to say dot set priority. Okay, and then the priority I'm going to give just the same thing we are using. Okay, the high, so notification compact dot priority high. So this is to target lower versions of Android. Okay. So, but before I run this, let me clear these notifications that we have actually done. Sorry. Hope this is not really. Okay, so I think my emulator is freezing a bit. Okay, let me just close it quickly and then open it again. So, okay. So what I basically want to do, okay, what I basically want to do is to just clear the previous channel settings, okay? So let's wait for that to run. I think my emulator is kind of acting up. My emulator is acting up a bit. Let me have to, so let's try that again. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, my emulator is actually acting up a bit. So I may probably have to, I don't know, let me see if I can quickly pull up a new one, or probably just, let me just kind of just, probably wipe it off or something. Okay, so okay, so let me just see if I can pick up a new one quickly and try that out. Okay, let me use a 29. Okay, so sorry guys, just to, so I can have some options. Okay. I think this was the one I just added, just to be sure. Yeah, the 4x. Okay, okay. So yeah, so basically what I want to do is to just clear previous channel settings. Okay, yeah, because if you fail to uninstall the application, okay, the channel priority settings will not change. If you do not uninstall the application, it won't change. And of course, the behavior you're actually expecting, there'll definitely be no behavior change. It won't change. It will just still, act up the way it was actually set. So that's the reason why we needed to uninstall. Okay, but well, while this is running, let's just touch the last stuff. And the last stuff is just to add notification badge. Yeah, how can we add a notification badge? So notification badge are just small dots that appear on the launcher icon of that app. Okay, when the app has an active notification. Okay, so this is actually is something simple to do. Okay, so let me just run this now, and hopefully should, okay. So okay, let's see, let's test this out. Okay, so I'm just going to minimize this. I'm still kind of updating the system, so I don't know. Well, let's just run it and then see if it will give us a notification, but it's still setting up. Okay, yeah, so yeah, so this is it. So that's actually fine. So this is, so the reason it popped up is because of the importance what level. That's the reason it popped up. That's what we're actually talking about. So for the notification badges, okay. So let's actually just quickly do that. So we do that here. Okay, so I'm just going to add a method called called set show badge. So on our notification objects, so let's see. Okay, let me see. Oh, yeah, so set show what badge. Okay, so let's set it to false. Because now, since it actually has just one active notification, so the badge on our app does not really help us. It doesn't actually, help in any way. Okay. Now, this is actually the badge. So I want to actually deactivate it. Once you have this, it actually shows that, hey, you have a notification, of course. So if I tap that, okay. Yeah. Let's take that out. So immediately I take that out, it goes out, and then try that again. Of course, it will. So let's just look here and see the badge coming up. Okay, so this is for the priority. Yes, this is based because of the priority, and then you can see the badge. So, but when you call the set show badge and you pass in the false, then it actually disables that. Okay, so but this, well, we're having an error, so I think this is how I would prefer to do it. So let me do something. Just let's better still. This is kind of this is better. So we'll apply that. Yeah. Okay. So I think this is it. Yeah. This is that. And let's see what we have. Take out. Yeah. So cleaned out the notification. So when I run this, so we should see a notification at the status bar, but we should not see a badge. Okay, yeah, so this is for our high priority. Of course, we can even snooze from here and the like. So that's it, guys. That's actually how you add a notification. So basically, we've been able to use the notification manager to create, send, update, and cancel a notification. Okay, we have used the notification channel, okay, to create notification channel method to set a channel for the notification. We have used the add action method, which adds quick actions to your notification, which is a snooze. But of course, actually introduce you to the show badge to enable and disable what badges. We're able to style our notifications and then importance level for that. So this is actually where, yeah, so this is where I actually round up my class. So I'm just going to be taking a few questions and then we can call it a night. So if you have a question, okay, now will be the time to ask them. Okay, so I guess we are actually good to go. Yeah, so yeah, I trust you guys are actually well knowledgeable. So yeah, but if you have any questions at any point, of course, just reach out to me on the Slack channel. So in our next class, we're actually going to be looking at notifications again, but from the Firebase perspective. Yes, we're going to be looking at notification, but from the Firebase perspective. So you would not want to miss that. Okay. So thank you guys very much for your time. Okay, so it says, could I update the repository? Okay. Yeah, of course. I'll actually update it. I'll update it. That's fine. Okay. What was the other question? Sorry. Okay, so Rico says, why did we use a broadcast in the snooze pending intent? Okay, why did we use a broadcast to snooze it? Okay, so have you, I kind of don't want to drag back, but have you actually used broadcast receiver before? We can just reply on the chat. Have you used a broadcast receiver before? Okay, that's caller. Okay, you haven't used, that's actually on the beginner side now. Okay, Eric, sorry, so we have, okay, Kola, yeah, sorry, did I pronounce that right? Is it Kola or Kola? Is that Yoruba name? You can unmute, please. Hello?
I believe it's color. I believe it's color.
Okay, we believe, yes, so we do believe that it is Kola. Okay, so, well, I want Kola to answer this question for some reason. Kola, why not? Can you take a swing at the question?
Let me try.
Okay. I like to engage people though. That's
What's the
the
question
answer.
again, please?
Okay, so he was asking, why did we use broadcast in the snooze pending intent? Of course, we did not use it when we created the other intent. So let me switch to notification details here. So when we're creating our first intent to, switch to the main activity, we used get activity. So he's like, okay, fine. Why are we using the broadcast now instead, of get activity?
I don't think there's much difference. The broadcast is also a Android component. You can launch your activity from your broadcast receiver. Doesn't really make any much difference.
So it's basically so it's more of like, okay, now in the first intent, we want to actually get an activity, we want to open an activity. But now in snoozing, you're actually, you're broadcasting a message, you're passing a message. Okay, it's not just to, this is you trying to just get an activity. This is you passing a message. That's why you're often passing the request code, and then we need that particular snooze intent. It's not, of course, our snooze receiver class is not an activity or a fragment or whatever. Now, this is actually broadcast receivers, and of course, it's something I expect that you should, have a grasp of, by now. So that's why I'm really not going to dwell. I'm not going to dwell. I think I put up some of the prerequisites, and the reason I wouldn't want to go try as much as possible to go back to certain things is because of we have a lot to do. Okay, let me give you guys a heads up. This your intermediate training, your intermediate training, okay, is not much of learning. Okay, it's not much of learning. You're going to build stuff. You're going to build a lot of stuff. Okay, so it's not much of learning. So I wouldn't want to, I don't have the time. So what I can do for you is, what I can tell you is, okay, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and then kind of, probably attend the beginner classes to get certain information or refresh your memory about certain things. But I will not teach it in the intermediate class, okay? Because I expect that, we have certain, knowledge of that already. Okay, so this is just to, kind of remind you. Okay, that is the word remind. So it's just a notice. Okay. So I think we'll actually round it round this up in the class. Sorry, thank you very much. So tomorrow, I said tomorrow, sorry, next week, we're going to look into notifications, but from the Firebase perspective. So I hope to see you in class. Thank you very much and have a wonderful, wonderful. Okay, Philip, you have a question. Go ahead.
Class is now evenings.
Okay, yes. Okay, so so just hold on.